Hey guys and gals, Will here from Android Authority, and today we've got a phone review for you. It is the Motorola Droid Razr, and it is available on Verizon Wireless's 4G LTE network for $299.99 on a 2-year contract. So getting into the basics of this phone. It is currently, they say, the thinnest 4G phone in the world at 7.1 millimeters thick, and it's a beautiful lightweight phone. Now compared to something like the Droid X, which I have here, it's definitely thinner. Okay, it's definitely thinner and it's definitely more lightweight. Now comparing this, the Droid Razr to another phone, it is actually half the size of the HTC Thunderbolt, if you're familiar with that phone, which is really a big step from Motorola to take. And they had to bring out something on this phone. Even though it does not really beat its competitors in every single little challenge, it does bring up the thinness, and that's why people are probably going to buy this phone for that, and the comfortability of the device itself. So getting into the basics, it runs on Verizon's 4G LTE network, runs at Android 2.3.5, and it's a great phone overall. It's got some Motocast features that we'll get into in a little bit, but besides that, let's get into the review. In the box, you'll find basic manuals. Pretty basic stuff. It's going to tell you, Verizon's 4G LTE networks here, why it's better than everybody else, just the basics. And also a 2-piece charging kit, AC wall adapter, and USB to mini micro USB. So, one of the main features on this phone is definitely the design. You can see it has the cut edges here that really, it's basically Motorola's new way of design. It will be featured also on the Zoom 2, which is the tablet that will be coming out shortly. So for design-wise, Motorola is still sticking with the 4.3-inch screen. Now, it's really, it's a large screen, but there are screens out there that are 4.65 inches, such as the Galaxy Nexus. So the screen basically resembles a Bionic screen or the Droid X. The screen is 540 pixels by 960 pixels and offers a Super AMOLED Advanced screen along with strong Gorilla Glass. Even though we're getting into Lotus Glass, the Gorilla Glass is a great way to make this phone durable as the nano coating. And speaking about nano coating, Motorola has added nano coating. How many times am I going to say it right? It's basically a coating of material that goes over all the external and internal components of the phone that makes it basically splash proof. Notice how I only say splash proof. I would not throw this in the ocean and wish for good luck. It is, there is still some exposed ports, okay? Like I wouldn't want to spill coffee in the top of this thing or it's probably going to die. But it is splash proof. I will provide a video of it showing you that it's splash proof. It does act up when it's splash proof because no electronics can really be durable to water. I'd say the closest you could get to that would be the GZ1 Commando, which is the Android phone. Okay, so getting into design also, it is around 129 grams for the weight that we've tested, and it's 7.1 millimeters thick, weighing in at the lightest 4G LTE 4G phone on the market right now. It's also have a door for SIM and micro USB. Little tough to get open, but as you can see it there, closes nicely so it kind of fits with the phone and you don't really get bugged by that door. What else do we got on this phone? We have one of my favorite features, the Kevlar carbon fiber looking back, and this is so sweet. Nice rubbery, not too rubbery like it's cheap, but more of a durable, like if I'm going to drop this, the back's not going to get scratched. It looks really nice. It's a nice soft feel. Looks like carbon fiber, and it's a factory, since this is an internal battery, and now that we have very small battery on this phone that's internal, this is sealed. So if you have splash water on the back of this thing, I'd pretty much make sure that it was, I don't think anything will really get inside, because they did seal this thing up pretty damn nice. Also, you have the lock button on the side, power button. Usually it's on the top, like the Droid X. But, and you've got a volume rocker right there. That's really about it. You also have the ports on the top that show you micro, USB, and mini HDMI, as long as a 3.5 millimeter jack also on the top of the device. On the bottom, you really see nothing, so that's really just about it for ports and capability. It also has a front-facing camera. You can probably see it there. as well as a rear 8 megapixel camera, the front being 1.3 megapixels. Now if we were to compare two phones here, it looks a little larger than the Droid X. Screen-wise is the same. So now we're going to get into performance now. Of course, it runs on Verizon's fast 4G LTE network, and of course, if you're not in the area for that yet, it will also run on their pretty much reliable 3G network as well. Inside of the Droid Razr here, you'll get a 16 gigabyte SD card included, which is upgradable to 32 gigabytes, as we saw on the side there, and of course, it has 8 gigabytes of internal memory. Now, a lot of that memory will be taken up by the bloatware apps, which we'll discuss later, but the memory in it is pretty standard for today's phones. I think they did a good job. It's got a battery that can go up to 12 hours talk time, or 8.5 days by standby. I think the 8.5 days by standby is a little too pushing it. I think it would be a little less than that, but the 12 hours talk time, probably around 10 or 11. I wouldn't go 12 exactly. Now, Motorola's done a good job keeping their megapixels and their camera straightened out. Alright, it features an HD 1080p video recording as well as 8 megapixel camera with flash. And of course, it has the HDMI, micro USB, and 3.5 millimeter jack at the top here. So, you know, if you want to stream Netflix, which I'm pretty sure you can do with mirror mode. Once you plug it into your TV, it will give you an option for mirror mode. And if you turn it sideways, Netflix works pretty well. We'll get into Netflix in a little bit, and it's very clear besides that. And if you were to go inside this puppy, it's got a 1.2 gigahertz TI OMAP processor by Texas Instruments, and also offers 1 gigabyte of RAM for those speedy tasks. You also have Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN with Bluetooth 4.0, which is pretty much standard in today's phones. Compatibility to Motorola's lap dock, which is kind of like turns it into a netbook, which is easy typing and access, and along with Verizon's paid tethering feature. Now, if I were to get into the software of the phone, of course it's running on Android 2.3.5 and will be upgradable to Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0 in 2012. So one of the main features of Motorola phones these days for Android is definitely their widgets, and it will give you a wide variety of widgets here, you know, calendar, email, but what I like is the IM and also the email widget. Those are my favorite. Of course, there's little tabs for switches here, and universal inbox as well if you want to combine all your messages. And what else is included here is the home button. Of course, will access multiple screens. And watch, if I cover the sensor at the top, the buttons will light up, and back it will go. There you go. So it's definitely saving battery. It's not a lot of battery taking up those lights, but still, it's a pretty nice feature. Of course, there's the resizable widgets with it, and one of my favorite features is their compatibility with the apps. So say if there's this thing called Groups. If we were to click the top left here, it'll bring you to something, Groups, and you can add groups. I added something called Work. So if I was to add something to Work, I would like Gmail. And I like to add that to a group. And then go to Work. So I use that for work. Also have the capability to hide apps. So say if I didn't like, let's see here, Google Talk, I can hide it. Okay, it'll be hidden. The app is still there, but it's just hidden away, so it's not really an annoyance in my applications. One of the cool features is the text messaging. You have the ability to resize text if you were to go into menu and then resize text, insert something, insert a smiley, just a bunch of cool features with the messaging. Of course, we'll offer a universal inbox for everything. However, the universal inbox does not work with your Gmail, so if you were to have a universal inbox, Gmail should be on your email app instead of the Gmail app, just so that's clear. Of course, it's multi-touch zooming in email, grouping applications, as we said, social networking. For those big social networkers out there, they would add a social network. There's also the IM feature, which you can add a Yahoo, Windows Messenger, or a AIM. So what else do we have? Of course, there's Motocast, which I will get into right now. So as you can see, that little icon on the bottom, where right next to My Library, that's the Motocast icon. And there's a lot of videos online that will show you how to get into Motocast. Basically, just plug it into your phone, and it will install the software. So I have a lot of music. This is all from Motocast, so this will stream right off the network. The lock screen, though, we never. Some of the things you can add here is I can turn my phone, off from silent. I can go to my pictures. Oops. But I can't really access my music, so we'll have to definitely fix that. And finally, my favorite feature would be the Smart Actions. Show you what these are. So say if Smart Actions are really, they're kind of complicated to understand, but they're really easy to understand, okay? I'll walk you through these. So say if you can program your phone to say, alright, so I go to sleep at 8 o'clock at night, or whatever. You could program it so that it would lower the screen brightness, so it wouldn't waste your battery, stuff like that. So if I were to go to view samples, it has a bunch of samples here for whatever. And that's really about it for the software of the phone. So all in all, the Droid Razr is an extraordinary device. I find it really groundbreaking that they can make a phone this thin and lightweight. The Kevlar back really makes it lightweight, and the internal battery really does as well. So one of the cons I'd say though is there's no battery, there's no external battery, so you can't really access the battery. So say if they did get past the lock bootloader in this to root it, if you ever ran into a boot loop, which is basically a reoccurring startup, there would be no way to battery pull, which is the main way you'd shut it off. So people are going to have a hard time rooting, so we'd have to do an app where it would, something that would shut it off. And demonstrate Netflix real quick. Alright, so we got Top Gear up and running now.
I don't care about the bonkers dash. I wouldn't even care if this thing ate one of my legs.
It's really crisp. It might not seem like it on this end, but it's a really crisp device. I'd definitely go check it out for yourself. So all in all, this is a great device. If I were to give it a rating out of 5, I'd probably give it even a 4 or a 5. Probably a 4 because it really doesn't bring anything new to the table besides its thinness and thickness. This has been Will from Android Authority, and we have just done a review of the Droid Razr by Motorola.